He's here and some place to go. Grab a stab of rock with Mike and the bad metal band. Grab a stab of rock and hold on tight as hard as you can. T-Bone's here, it's time for a party. And Chris has got the comment started. Grab a stab of rock with Mike and the bad metal band. Grab a stack of rock and hold on tight as hard as you can. Grab a stack of rock. Grab a stack of rock.
Hey.
Hello, hello.
Hi, fellas. How
Hello.
are you tonight?
Wonderful. How are you doing?
Real good, thanks. Mr. John T. Snow, ladies and gentlemen.
It's been a long time.
It's been since, I believe, first weekend of July when we interviewed Jason Beeler. That's the last time you've been on, I think.
Yeah, that has been a while.
Yeah. Great interview, by the way.
Yeah, that was fun.
Well, listen, guys, before we get started, I want to take care of a couple orders of business first. If we have to go 5 or 10 minutes overtime tonight, are you okay with that?
Oh,
Definitely.
I don't know.
Don's always the problem. Okay, so we have a couple special viewer questions for Harrison tonight, but I'd like to address a good friend of mine that lives out in California, and she did a live stream today, and it was her first live stream, and it did not go as planned, unfortunately for her. She's really upset. The video wasn't working. She had audio streaming, but no video. So she was really upset about this. So I just want to address you for one moment. Harrison, I remember an interview that we did together with a certain rock band, and I was not necessarily happy with the results of that interview. The band was a little misbehaved, shall we say, and I lost complete control of the interview. But yet, what is the general public perception of that interview?
Oh, we love it.
You love it.
Yeah, train wrecks are great.
Right? So my words of wisdom are this. My least favorite show that I've done in the last year and a half is actually one of the top 10 favorites from people like Harrison and some of the other viewers. So you never know. You never know. And that's the God's honest truth. So take another shot at it. You can do this. Okay, enough with that. Let's get on with the viewer questions for Harrison. Now, I will admit that I gave Harrison a sneak peek at this one, so I'm assuming you have an answer prepared. But this comes from regular viewer Jeff Taylor. Oh, hey there, Jeff Taylor. Did you have a question for Harrison in Australia?
Oh, yeah. Speaking of business, in the southern hemisphere, what way does the water swirl when you flush?
Excellent question, sir. Harrison?
Yeah, well, I actually did some research and some testing into this, and the results are still inconclusive because what it does is it curls around the bowl. It hits at the middle and then pushes inwards and downwards. So there's no real direction that I can tell. I don't know, maybe the flushing mechanism is different in the northern hemisphere, but here in Australia it just doesn't swirl.
There you go, folks.
Unless I'm missing something.
All the myths are wrong. All of them are wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready for your second question?
Well, regardless of whether I'm ready or not, I think it's coming.
Okay, so just so you know, this one was filmed up vertically, so it's going to go right down the center of the screen and cut off John's face, but you'll still see us.
Which is fine. People won't mind it.
No, we'll see. Anyway, this is the second question.
Hey, Harrison, how's it going? You know, there's something I was always meaning to ask you. Do you have squirrels in Australia? And if you do, are they called squirrels? Or are they like squirrel gurus? I don't know, just something I always wondered. Anyway, it's good seeing you. Take care.
T-Bone Erickson, for those who don't know.
Well, part one, first year, I imagine we have them in zoos. Now, part 2 of how you can interpret that question. We don't have any wild squirrels as far as I know. Part 3, as in interpreting the question as in the word squirrels, as in not the creatures themselves, but merely a catastrophically damaging entity to one's psyche. I know that there are cane toads and rabbits, which of course trouble over here for our native population. As for animals that give us trouble, not particularly that I can think of.
All right. Thank you, Harrison. Mr. Grant Arthur from the Rock Warehouse wants to know what's going on. Well, I'll tell you, Grant, tonight we are grabbing stacks of rock and talking about them. And I know John T. Snow's got Japanese imports, and I've also chosen to go partially down the Japanese import route. But before we get to all of the stacks of rock, we just want to say quickly, rest in peace, Mr. Dan McCafferty from Nazareth. What a voice that man had, guys.
Oh, yeah, he was phenomenal.
Absolutely.
And speaking
phenomenal.
of voices, Kevin Conroy just passed away as well.
Just heard about that one recently as well.
Oh.
But on the brighter side of rock, literally brighter side of rock, did you guys see the ZZ Top video with Elwood Francis playing that crazy yellow 17-string bass?
Yeah, that was insane.
Scott
I mean,
Pelley
he couldn't even, fit around it.
That was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good.
It reminded me of when ZZ Top used to kind of play goofier looking instruments like furry guitars and stuff like that. It's like, here comes Elwood Francis with a totally out of the blue, a 17-string bass.
I remember when their microphone stands were like chrome smokestacks.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. All right, boys. Tonight we are grabbing stacks of rock and showing them off for all the world to see. And I thought just for something different tonight, why don't we start with John Snow and work our way counterclockwise?
And how many am I doing?
You know what? Let's just keep going until we hit like an hour and 10 minutes.
Okay. Well, I have some unboxings first.
Why don't we start there?
I already cheated and at least saved some time by ripping it open. But as y'all know, I do like Billy Idol.
Yeah.
And the new EP is finally out on vinyl.
All right.
So the album came out, I don't know, a couple months ago. But as you know, with the vinyl problems,
Yes.
takes a little while sometimes for them to get out. But that was expected. I knew that was coming. Then my wife went out of town to the lake house to see her brother and her dad, and she came back, and her brother, Ryan, who we've had on the show, sent me a little something. And he works a lot with Stone Temple Pilots. And back in August, they released this box set of vinyl.
Oh.
So it is the 4 LP deluxe box set, and it's got the remastered album. It's got demos, I believe, and then it has a live show also on vinyl.
93.
Yeah. So this was quite unexpected and much appreciated. So thank you, Ryan. I have the anniversary edition that they put out. I had the remastered album, but then it had all of the CDs. So they finally put it out on vinyl for everything. So that was very nice, very unexpected, and I'm quite thrilled to have that. I'm deciding if I'm going to open it or not, but I probably will.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, Mr. Ryan would be Mr. Ryan Williams, who we interviewed.
Yes.
A year and a half, 2 years ago at this point.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
So,
Great guest. Awesome stories.
Yeah, he has a little fun in his business. Yeah, we have to get him back on because he's got some, I'm sure, some more wild tells. And he's about to go on, well, Stone Temple Pilots about to go on tour. And
Yeah.
I think they're going to be down your way, Harrison, down in Australia. And he's going to be working the monitors for them on the tour. So I'm sure he'll have some stories after that.
Cool.
But yeah. So yeah, that's the two things that I received today.
Nice.
So I can, because I have a stack, so we can go around some more.
All right. Well, why don't we go to Harrison and then I'll go.
Oh, I thought
Counterclockwise. And let's counterclockwise means something different in Australia.
No. Oh no, I know. How could I have foreseen this?
Well, it's Saturday where you are. You should have foreseen.
Mm.
You know basically everything's going to happen for the next 12 hours.
Yes, the sun will rise.
Excellent. I'm glad to know that. Anyway, go ahead, Harrison.
Anyway, yeah, I seem to be making a habit each week of starting off with a little addendum to last week's stuff.
Let's keep that trend going then.
Yeah. I completely missed one of the best things about this album I showed off. It's that the liner notes feature the lead singer basically going through all the bonus tracks, explaining what they are, you know, their significance. Even all of the live show too, he talks about like the show they were recorded, bits about the performance and everything. It's really enlightening. I think it's really cool, and I wish more liner notes did that.
No, that's really great. That's the one thing I do like about the Vault. We won't go there, but it's got the book, and they go through every song.
Yes.
And tells the story behind it. I love when the bands do that.
You know, a lot of the Def Leppard sets, track by track commentary from a band member or two.
Yeah.
I really like that kind of stuff too. So bands, if you're listening, we like track by track commentaries in the liner notes.
Yeah.
All right, and something new that came this week as well, more Australian stuff.
Ooh.
It's Cold Chisel's Swing Shift live album. This is from their 1980 Youth in Asia tour, which was supporting their 1980 album East, which is my favorite of their album. Every single track is a winner on it, and 9 of the 12 tracks from East are performed live on this one. And that goes with the other 2 of the other 3 live tracks are performed on this one I just got fairly recently, their farewell shows. And the last of the 12 tracks is performed on some other live albums. The entire album is played live over the course of their history, which is great. But yeah, this one in particular is a double live. Got a bunch of other deep cuts as well to go with the East extravaganza.
Very
Cold
cool.
Chisel, you said it's an Australian band. Did they ever break anywhere else? Because the name rings a bell.
Their lead singer, Jimmy Barnes, I think, had a couple of solo albums in the late 80s in Canada. I think Bobbin mentioned Freight Train Heart made it over there.
Yeah, that is an album I'm familiar with. Yeah.
That's my favorite of his solo albums.
And then he did the song with NXS, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's where I think I was introduced to him first.
Yeah, I've got that one too.
Most of us.
Yeah.
On his duets album.
Yeah.
Very cool. You just showed off some bonus stuff.
Yeah. I wasn't planning on those, but my CD collection's in arm's reach.
Well, shall I go next then?
I believe that's what counterclockwise means. Yes.
Smart ass. All right. Well, I'm going to start off with a bit of a rarity here that just so happens I was listening to this album today. It has a horrible reputation, but I quite enjoyed Catherine Wheel's final album, Wishville. Not nearly as good as the previous album, Adam and Eve, but not nearly the 1 out of 5-star disaster that all the reviews were making it sound like. This version is a little special. This is a Gatefold Digipack with bonus live CD. There you go. You can get the full track listing right there if you hit pause on your YouTubes. Not, like I said, not as great as their prior works, but certainly not a 1 out of 5-star disaster. I don't get where the loathing comes from for this album. And, the band broke up, but it's got this nice gatefold. Look at that. Triple gatefold.
Triple gatefold.
And Harrison, just for your knowledge, the lead vocalist of this band is a guy named Rob Dickinson, which would make him the cousin of Bruce. And their manager, Mercuriadis, spent some time managing a little band called Iron Maiden, or co-managing, I should say. So there's definitely some Iron Maiden connections there with Actually, I misspoke and I said Catherine Wheel, but on their third album, they renamed themselves The Catherine Wheel.
Yeah, funny you should mention Bruce and sort of like little known things. On the reissue here of the Randy Rhoads tribute, you probably won't be able to see it because of the shitty lighting I've got, but the reissue executive producer there is one Bruce Dickinson.
But not the Bruce Dickinson, unfortunately.
Could be.
It's not.
Okay.
There's a Bruce Dickinson that you see. I believe he worked for the Sony Legacies. He does the liner notes on everything, and it is a different Bruce. As far as I know, swearing on the Holy Bible here, as far as I know, that is a completely different Bruce Dickinson.
Oh, so you have your Judas Priest box set there then?
I do have my Judas Priest box, and I'm wearing the shirt.
That's the Holy Bible to me.
The shirt
Eddie's
that got
archive.
so much attention today, this week in my building, which I'll be posting the video on Sunday for those who didn't see it on my Facebook. But the shirt has a good story to go with it. The other thing I want to show off this round, I mentioned last week that I have 3 Thin Lizzy box sets. So I'm going to show off, this one's just as rare as last week's, if not more.
Wow.
This is the Thin Lizzy 6 CD, 1 DVD at the DVD, the BBC box set. Now, as it goes, when this came out, I hesitated and did not pre-order. So I avoided paying the late tax, which is what we call it when you have to buy something on the secondhand market after it's gone out of print. I avoided buying the late tax by ordering a Japanese import from CD Japan.
Oh.
And it was way cheaper, way cheaper than paying the late tax.
Wow.
So I got this awesome. It's identical in content. There's no bonus tracks or anything like that.
But you get the Obi.
You get the Obi, which is a full back Obi. In fact,
Oh, nice.
there's the focus is bad here, but the song title's in Japanese and then the song title's in English. And there are 6 CDs inside, creatively titled discs 1 through 6 and DVD. It looks like there are 14 separate seasons of the BBC shows that these guys appeared on. And then there's a live show. The DVD is Live at the Rainbow 78. Oh, geez, there's a whole bunch of live stuff. I haven't watched the DVD. I've only listened to the music. With any of these BBC sets, you always get some repetition in tracks, but more or less you get different lineups and things like that. Some really great stuff on here. Some of my personal favorite songs: Rosalie, Shalala, Emerald, Warrior, The Rocker, Johnny the Fox meets Jimmy the Weed. Oh man, there's so many good songs on here.
Johnny the Fox meets Jimmy the Weed sounds like an Alice Cooper title.
It kind of does, but it's really funky. It's really funky. Don't Believe a Word, Boys Are Back in Town. A lot of early stuff too. There's a lot of early stuff from the trio version of Thin Lizzy on this box set. But yeah, that's my go round. Thin Lizzy at the BBC. And the only other box set isn't really a rarity, so I'm not going to bother showing it off, but it's the Warriors, Vagabonds, Kings, and whatever. You know the one I'm talking about. The standard retail box set that you see everywhere. All right, so I guess we're back, going counterclockwise. Back to the Snowman.
All right. Before I go to the Japanese,
Yes.
I also picked up this not too long ago, the Ellefson Soto release,
Ooh.
autographed by both.
Signed.
So it's a little case with the CD, and it came with whoops, I dropped something. Came with a little card as well, a sticker from the company you got it from, another little sticker for
Nice.
Ellefson, and then a guitar pick for each of them. So as everybody knows, if they go to my site, I'm doing a Soto series. So this will not be reviewed until probably June, because I still got a long way to go. I'm only through like 40 something reviews, still got 35 to go or something like that. So that's that. And the reason I pulled out that one is because my first Japanese release is going to be Soto's band Takara.
Oh,
And then here's the little Obi strip.
very nice.
And it comes with this little postcard kind of thing. It's all in Japanese, order form, I guess.
Looks like it.
Yeah. And then it's got 2 bonus tracks. Dance the Night Away cover from Van Halen.
Oh,
And then Always Be Mine is another one. And Takara was a band he was in the 90s. It was supposed to be, he was helping them out by doing the vocals as like a demo, and then they could get a record deal, and he ended up doing 3 albums with them because they still never got a deal, and he kept coming back to help his friends out and kept singing. So we got like 3 albums out of it, and I will take it. it's melodic rock. It's the 90s, but it sounds a lot like 80s rock, that kind of thing. But it's one of the few of his surprise that I do have in the Japanese edition. Most everything else is European, because you don't
So
get too many of them in the States.
I would assume then that there's Japanese stuff that you don't have with tracks you don't have.
There's probably a few. I don't think there's a lot, but I think there's a few, because there's a lot of reissues and stuff that have all the bonus tracks.
Yeah. So you don't necessarily need to buy an expensive Japanese import.
Right. And I think at the time when I was buying a bunch of these, it was like financially, it was cheaper to go the other route.
Yeah. I've had to make those decisions myself.
So yeah, I mean, especially nowadays.
Yeah, no kidding. No more Thin Lizzy box sets happening here for a while. Although the Creatures of the Night box set that we both have coming will be here next week.
Yes, can't wait. Yes, that'll be what, the 18th.
Yep.
And
Can't
then
wait.
I'll do one more, but I'm not sure this one's Japanese.
Okay.
It's Asian,
Okay.
and it's a bootleg.
Okay.
It's a Robbie Williams Sexed Up compilation.
Ooh.
So it's a 2 CD set. And if you can see it, it's hard to say. But it's 30 something songs. They're all written in English and in I want to say it's Korean, but I'm not positive on that one. But the CD case looks the same. And the CDs themselves have the girl on it as well, with his eyes. So I'm a big Robbie Williams fan. So I saw this at a local little shop, and I think I picked it up for like $5. So I was like, anything that's got the Asian writing on it, I'll take it for $5. Yeah.
Yeah, even if it's
a bootleg, but it's the sound quality is fantastic.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and that's all that really matters anyway.
Yeah, as long as you can listen to it.
Yeah.
All right, Harrison, made in Australia.
All right, so the LP du jour today is made in Japan.
Ooh.
So I've talked a lot about how I have made in Japan up on my wall, but now you can finally see it because of the angle that
Yes.
was chosen for today. You can also see the afterburner that I talk about a lot.
Yes. Your
Yeah.
favorite ZZ Top, is that correct?
Yep, by a mile. The Made in Japan's actually an Australian edition of it too. Doesn't have all the tracks, but it's an Australian one, so hometown pride there.
I suppose so, although you're proud of being short one song, which is kind of something weird to be.
Well, not proud of it, but you know, I've got more than one Made in Japan, you know. Actually, I have 3 copies of it, and I still wait. No, sorry, the LP does have the extra song. It's the CD that doesn't, that I'm going to show. I do have all the songs.
Okay.
All right, so
Yes.
Made in Japan number 2
Okay.
that I own.
Yes, I have this version.
The first 10 years, and you got Made in Japan on the back. This is the one that annoys me because it's the CD, but it only has 4 songs.
Yeah.
And why it's extra annoying is because it's actually a Japanese version of
Oh,
Purgatory and Made in Japan, and they couldn't even put the extra song on.
nice find though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it like pretty much like new condition for pretty good.
There's a cast.
You can see the reflection of the diner and the map and the castle. That's one of the other angles I go for.
It's always been one of my favorite Eddies too.
Yeah, it's a simple one, but it's effective. Made in Japan number 3 is this bootleg that I've shown off, soundboard bootleg from I think the night before or the night after.
Right.
Yeah. And they've tacked on, I've got the Fire from Live at the Marquee at the very end for some reason. What's interesting about this set list is that Prowler isn't played at all. Neither is Charlotte the Harlot, which are 2 fairly well-known songs from that era.
Huh.
But Strange World does get played. Even non-album tracks like Twilight Zone as well. So interesting. And plus you get a Clive Burr drum solo in Another Life and a Dave Murray guitar solo at the end of Transylvania.
And of course,
yeah,
Maiden do not do solos anymore, and they have not
Yeah.
done solos since the Peace of Mind tour.
Yeah, this
That's
is the one
cool.
with the cool picture disc, actually.
Yeah.
Even though it's
That
a
is cool.
bootleg. That is a really cool aspect of it.
Makes
And
it look a lot less bootleggy.
yeah, it does actually. Made in Japan number 4.
Ah, I knew you were going to do Deep Purple at some point.
I got
Yeah,
that one too.
Yeah, this is the Digipack double edition with the encores on a separate disc and the remastered main set. I actually don't like having the encores on a separate disc without also having, because if you remember, this is like the deluxe edition, then you get the standard edition, which is one CD, which has a selection of each of the 3 encores that was played. And I think it flows a lot nicer having them incorporated as part of the main show. Like, I don't mind having the others on a separate disc, but I would have liked to have had the encores on the main disc, the disc 1, but oh well.
Well, my Made in Japan, I don't know
I
if
mean,
you
you've
can
got
see-
everything, yes.
right there, right where my finger
Yeah.
is, that gold box is
You have all 3 shows and
all 3 shows plus the single for Smoke on the Water live and a DVD, and it's a beautiful set. Yeah, but that's great stuff. I was hoping you were going to show off some Maiden tonight, but I certainly didn't anticipate that you'd show off the very album that our graphic that we used for advertising was.
well, I have
based
3
on.
copies of it that I've spent a lot of money on it. I'd like to get my money's worth on it.
Yeah. All right. So, what should I show off? I haven't made any decisions beyond here. I was kind of going to let you guys tell me what you want to see.
What is over your, well, right over your shoulder, that white box? It looks like it's something Kiss.
The one that says KIS on it.
Yeah, the one.
Oh, that's not a box. That is a book.
That is a book. Okay.
Kiss and Philosophy.
Oh,
Wiser Than Hell.
I've never seen that.
One moment, please. Just got to find the right page here. There we go. Part 3, The Star Child. Excess, I Love It by Robert S. Vukovich. Robert S. Vukovich is an old buddy of mine from school, and he has watched the show many times. There's always been a guy whose name comes up in like Russian letters.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's the guy who wrote this chapter of this book.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do the Tim Derling thing.
All right, well, I'm gonna have to get that because I don't
Yeah.
know that.
And then while we're on Kiss, I may as well. Oh, yeah, you know what? I'll show this off. I don't think I've ever shown this off. First, we have the Kiss Alive 8-track tape that people frequently ask to see.
I have that one. But
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't do the Tim Derling thing as well as Tim Derling does. But I don't think I've ever shown off my Japanese import, Kiss Rocks Vegas.
No.
I've managed to keep the shrink wrap on it, the Obi.
Wow.
So this is 3 CDs, but I believe it's all the same contents as the 2 CD version.
Okay.
Just, I believe they split it over 3 discs, but inside we have a still sealed Kiss t-shirt.
Nice.
And the reason it's still sealed is because I consider it part of the set because that's what the packaging is designed to hold. So
Yeah.
it's like, I can't do it. I can't open that shirt. I can't wear that shirt. And here's the actual.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah. So the second disc, I believe on the regular version has the, how does this work, John? Remind me, is there a domestic 2 CD or is it a domestic 3 CD? How does it work? I know this doesn't have any bonus tracks.
Oh, let me see where mine is. It's over here somewhere.
I can't remember, and I don't want to go and say that. I don't want to give the people wrong information, you know?
Mine's kind of puny. I just have this version.
Okay, so that is
There's
the deluxe, I guess.
2 CDs, and then the DVD.
Okay. I am pretty sure that
Or
this.
is it 1 CD in the DVD? It's just 1 CD in the DVD.
Oh. Well, I am pretty sure this has nothing bonus on it as far as music goes, but I might be wrong. I don't know. Anyway, I know that the Japanese version doesn't have bonus tracks. It's just bonus other stuff. But you got to admit, that's a nice set.
Yeah, I mean, I would like it because I don't think the CD here doesn't have the whole show. It doesn't have the acoustic songs.
Okay, this does have the acoustic.
Yeah, the DVD has the acoustic set, but the CD does not. So I need to find a version with this acoustic set.
Well, you can't have this one.
Well,
Sorry.
that's okay. I'll find it.
Anyway, Yeah, that's a really nice looking Japanese import right there. Mr. Snow, it is now your turn once more.
All right, we're going back to
We're
the
going back to
late-
Japan.
Back to Japan, back to the late 80s, early 90s. These are reissues. First one up is Firehouse's debut album.
That's
got
a
the
different
little
cover,
Obi-
isn't it?
It's a
Is that
different cover. Yep, different cover. I got the Obi strip, so everything's in the Japanese. It comes with 2 bonus tracks, I think. No, it actually has 4. Has 4 live versions of songs from the album.
That's cool.
I like the way they do the black CD.
Yeah.
And not just the clear. And of course, when I bought that one, I had to get their second album, Hold Your Fire. And the Obi strip looks almost exactly the same as the first one, so I don't want to
Except
get
for
them
that
messed up.
little thumbnail picture of the album cover.
Yeah,
in
yes,
there.
of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you're not careful, you could put the wrong one on the wrong one.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Easily.
trying to keep them separated. This one had 2 live tracks as the bonus. And again, it's a reissue. They did the same CD and stuff. And then I've got the next 2 I'll show for the next round
Okay.
are the same reissues. Reissued at the same time as these were. But for a
Okay.
different band.
That makes it Harrison's turn once more.
All right, I don't have very many Japanese imports. I have 4. You've seen the Made in Japan and Purgatory one. There's the Hollywood Vampires one, which is out of reach. Last time, or I think the first time, you saw the Biohazard 2 soundtrack.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the last one is essentially a companion to the Biohazard 2 soundtrack, which is all the songs that weren't featured on that, not all the songs, all the tracks that weren't featured on that first original soundtrack. This is the much rarer Biohazard 2 complete track. And as you can
Whoa.
see, the Obi strip also forms part of the artwork.
Yes.
Wow.
It's
I
there
like
underneath, but the annoying part about that is that the artwork's actually put in sideways. So if you put it, it's supposed to be like this, but if you put it like that, then the Obi strip messes it
Doesn't
up.
match. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no rear insert, or at least there wasn't in this one that I got. That extra small disc is actually just sound effects from the game. It's the big disc where the rest of the tracks are. This one's hardly what you'd call essential if you've got this, but for someone like me who likes rare things to complete other rare things, I had to get this. I think this is the most expensive CD I've ever bought.
If I had to guess, I would say that lack of a back cover that looks intentional to show off the dual disc feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I would guess.
I
And
would say the same thing.
and this one's not a Japanese import, but I do think it is quite timely.
Ha! There it is, the Live Evil album.
Yep. The very one that we've been staring at a couple people of from
Yeah.
before.
Too bad Aaron's the insane guy.
Well, the reason I did that, because the insane guy can only be 2 people. Me or... But I chose Aaron because if you remember when I made that LeBrain Train mural and I gave Aaron that white shirt that's a bit ruffled, you guys were all like, "Oh, is he in a straight jacket or is it a puffy shirt?"
It does look like that exactly.
So-
yeah.
So I gave him that shirt again and actually made it the straight jacket this time.
And I like how
And-
you even have Rob Daniels in the Lego rowboat.
Yeah. That's
Um,
actually a coffin. Actually,
Oh,
I thought are they in a no? They're in a coffin. Yeah, they're actually in a coffin because they're children
Okay.
of the grave. So I got a Lego coffin and I put Daniels
Makes
and
sense.
Gimli in there.
Right, like the gimmick of the album cover is each of those characters represents a song. So the Aaron character over here, he's paranoid. And, we've got the Children of the Sea, and you've got the guy from the Mob Rules album cover, and you've got a voodoo and all kinds of other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Satan had to be Satan because I couldn't really make anyone in the community Satan. That
No,
would
but
be-
he's already a character in our pre-existing fiction.
He is, yeah.
Yes.
Possibly
Yeah.
the most fun character to write besides T-Bone himself, because I like playing with T-Bone's sanity. But that's a whole other.
You know, I kicked Satan out for a little bit to give us the chance to have some variety, but I'm sure
Right.
he'll be back.
Oh, guaranteed.
Not in my next one.
So am I going next?
I do believe so.
Okay, so is there anything you guys want to see, or should I just grab a stack?
Grab a stack.
Okay, I'm gonna grab a stack here.
Seconded.
Okay, I'll be back with a stack.
Mhm.
I like your Lego figure with the hair
Mine.
for yours, yeah. And of course, it's in a
Yeah.
perfect spot when there's only 3 of us because it's just there.
Yeah. I made myself that mob guy because you can't see it, but I'm holding a boomerang similar to the way the mob guy is holding the whip. So I tried to make it, the person that they're representing in the community. There's a sort of a connection, like even if it's because the voodoo person is holding out a staff and T-Bone's holding out his guitar. The pig was meat because pork, not because I think meat's a pig.
So this is kind of embarrassing here. I have some CDs here that I didn't even know I owned. I literally just grabbed a stack, and it's like I can make no heads or tails of why this is a stack. But here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Rapid fire. The brand new
Between
Ozzy
the
album.
eyes.
The new Ozzy album, Patient Number 9, which I quite like. I was very pleasantly surprised by this album.
Yeah.
Standard version, nothing special.
Mm-hmm.
Ace Frehley's last album, Origins Volume 2. This is actually the very last album review that I have written that I still have to post. So you will get my opinion on that in the coming weeks. I'm just kind of rolling them out slowly.
Some nice track listings there.
This is sitting here from when John and I interviewed Dan Fila a year ago. The first Varga album, Prototype. Don't know why this is out, but it's a Gilby Clarke self-titled album, which I believe is a compilation. I'm not 100% sure. It is a compilation. And it features a new version of the song Black with lead vocals by Delana from whatever that talent show was called. Shadows Exposed by Polychuck, our good friend of the show. This is that EP that I've been loving for quite some time now. Very, very talented Canadian artist, Mr. Thomas Polychuck, and his, I believe, to date only CD release, although he is currently working on his first full-length album. I've shown this off before, my Guns N' Roses Hard School CD. There's bonus tracks on the vinyl and bonus tracks on the other vinyl. There's 2 vinyls. And then I've got a whack of Oasis singles. This one's kind of neat because it's got not a 3-inch single, but a single that's designed to look like it is.
Oh, wow.
This one is Who Feels Love from the Standing on the Shoulder of Giants album, which is not a personal favorite. Parts 1 and 2. This is Sunday Morning Call from the same, I believe this is the Standing on the Shoulder of Giants album. There's also the Heathen Chemistry album, which I kind of lose interest in later Oasis, but I bought it all anyway. Go Let It Out. They were really into this at that time.
I've got one CD, one single that way that's clear like that.
Oh, here's one that John will like.
So, sorry, just those CD singles. Is there actually playing surface on the clear bits?
No.
Then you have a bit of a handle to behold it by for those uncultured swines.
Yes, although they get fingerprints on them that are totally visible from both sides.
Yeah.
So it's a lose-lose
It
situation.
won't affect the playing, at least.
You know this man, Mr. Snow?
I don't know, he looks familiar.
Richie Kotzen.
Okay, I was trying to read it. I've never seen that one before.
Oh, really? This is his 3rd solo album, and it's all instrumental, and I quite like it a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It's funky. It's weird. It's a lot of chicken picking, but it's neat. I believe I got this one from Aaron, Guitar Zeus by Carmine Appice, with a whole bunch of special guests. I don't see Jeff Scott Soto on there, which is so unusual.
It is. He's on everything.
He's on everything, but check out the case.
Oh, wow.
It's blue sparkle.
Ooh.
That
How
is
wild
neat.
is that?
Well, that's one if you crack, you can't replace it.
Yeah, true. But again, I forgot that I owned this. I don't think I've even played it yet. I've got so much stuff, guys.
Oh, I know the problem.
Toronto band The Beaches that I'm quite fond of. I don't know what it's doing in this stack. I have no idea how this stack came to be. Tesla's Time Making Changes, greatest hits album, featuring one new track on there called Steppin' Over. I'm guessing these were given to me by Aaron because it's got one of his notes here. Anybody who's received mail from Aaron has received one of these notes. The
I have
Trues.
one.
This is an EP by the Trues, a self-titled EP. I don't think I've gotten around to hearing this yet. And the self-titled debut album by XYZ, which I also have not gotten around to listening to yet. I've not heard this album.
I found that on vinyl about a year or so ago.
Well, I hope it's good. It's worth
Yeah,
the
it's a
wait.
good album.
I know it says produced by Don Dokken, which kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies, but I guess that doesn't mean it's bad, right?
Right. No, it's a good album. It's a good album.
I know Don produced some of the Dokken stuff, so. All right, well, that's my stack. Harrison, I guess we're going counterclockwise. No, wait, John, we're going
That's right.
counterclockwise.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, we're back to those reissues of the Japanese.
Okay.
The next one up is Danger Danger
Ah, yes.
with Ted Poley on vocals. I do like the Danger Danger that's got Paul Lane myself.
But you like them both, right?
I like them both. I'm a fan of Danger Danger except for their last album. And again, see the same reissues.
What label is that, John?
You know, I gotta find my glasses.
Shit.
You know, it's just Sony Music. Yeah,
It's
a
just
Sony
like
Music label.
Sean Connery in The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Oh, I hate getting old.
I don't know why some people it comes up as Facebook user, but last time it did, it was Brian Richards. So I'm going to assume that it's you, Brian Richards. Say yay or nay if it's Brian Richards. Thanks for watching, though.
And then
That's
another
cool,
one.
John.
Of course, when I buy one, I have to buy the other one that they have. So this is the
Mhm.
second album called Screw It. Actually, this is my favorite Danger Danger album. It's vulgar and disgusting, and it's great.
And of course, they were going to call it Monkey Business.
Yeah, but some other band went really famous with that song.
Yeah.
Skid
And so
Row.
the story is that Danger said, screw it. We'll come up with a different title.
Yeah,
There you
exactly.
go. And
That's
it
what
is
they
Brian.
did.
Hey, Brian. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you.
What time? Okay. This next one it's not a Japanese, but I think you're gonna like this one.
Okay.
Cybernauts.
Yeah, the 2 CD Cybernauts.
Yes, very hard to get.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This is your second copy.
No.
No.
This is my only copy.
I thought you had two. Or you had an
No,
earlier.
not
you, had
of
a,
this
co-
one.
you had a copy before.
I've had but not this particular one.
Oh,
I
okay.
had the original single
Oh.
disc version.
Okay, but this is the very rare.
Yes, and when I heard about this, I went looking for it, and holy crap, it's hard to find and it's expensive. I somehow got a really, really good deal on this one. It was about $60 less than the average price.
Nice.
Those are
Boys,
So
US
I
dollar
jumped on
roonies
it.
too.
and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are US dollar roonies too.
Yeah, and it's
Dollaroos.
So I like the 2 CDs. Flip it out. Yeah, it popped out.
But that's okay. That's just the case.
Yeah. So,
And
yeah, this
the
is
case
awesome. And for
means
those that
nothing
don't-
unless it's a special case.
But for those that don't know, it's Joe Elliott and Phil Collin from Def Leppard.
Yep.
I thought they were
And
Dead
then it's
Flatbird.
Spider from Mars.
Dead
band.
Flatbird came later.
So that's one I've got recently that I don't think I'd shown off and stuff.
Nice.
The next set, a couple, I think I've shown before, but they're Japanese, and it's the 2 Def Leppard editions. Each has a different bonus track, and they came with little stickers as well.
Here, let's hold them both up together so we can get a nice picture here.
It's
Look at that. It looks like
your
it's
mouth.
my eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. I was-
Okay, that's the thumbnail. That's the thumbnail image. So I got to remember that's at approximately 45 minutes into the video that's the thumbnail image that we're going to use. Perfect. Brilliant, John.
Yeah, those are just, I had to buy them both because they had a different bonus track on each one.
Well, you're preaching to the choir, my friend.
Yeah, I know. So, and then I'll save the next 2 for the next round.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Harrison, you are
Right.
up.
This is my last stack. I have a lot of Maiden, but I don't really have too much rare Maiden. I mean, I've got the Best of the Beast 2 CD, but that's in deep storage being protected. So Best of the Beast has been omitted from this show now on more than one occasion. But I've shown this off before, but I went and bought Beast over Hammersmith separately many years ago. Your usual Beast over Hammersmith. Different case than it originally came in, but the case doesn't matter. The liner notes are so fat they barely fit in here, and they're made out of a the X Factors liner notes are that's got to be the biggest I've seen. They're made out of a different type of plastic that makes them hard to pull out. But for other rare Maiden, I got this at Christmas. It's I've got 2 Iron Maiden Blaze Bailey bootlegs. This one is from Israel, 1995. It's a radio broadcast, though the quality varies over the track. But you've got probably the definitive Blaze version of Wrathchild on here, as well as some pretty good renditions of some other tracks. Not the Trooper or the Number of the Beast, but yeah. And the interviews are actually all right because they're from the period before. After they recorded the album, but before they went out on tour. So they're all optimistic and everyone sounds really excited. And then, it all happened. So it's a very short and unique period in the band's history.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but they taped the video for Afraid to Shoot Strangers there in Tel Aviv,
in Israel, right? Yes. Yeah. At least most of the video. I think some of the video came from Sao Paulo 1996, which you have?
I
showed off yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, not yesterday.
Last week,
yeah. There is actually, because it was broadcast on TV, but I've seen actual Maiden filmed good quality footage from this show in a couple of their X Factor music videos. I believe it was Afraid to Shoot Strangers. There's a couple shots. Not Man on the Edge. Lord of the Flies comes from a different show, I think. That one looked indoor. And the last thing I have to show off is just this. This is the 2 CD version, which comes with a couple of tracks written by the original Alice Cooper band.
Very nice.
All the ones that were surviving. So everyone but one, I think. And it's got a bunch of live tracks from Columbus 2016.
With Nita Strauss on
guitar, I believe that's one of Nita's first tours, And the most interesting thing about this one is this rendition of Billion Dollar Babies. Alice Cooper actually fluffs one of the verses, and he does that as sort of like scat along to the melody that Blaze does whenever he fluffs lyrics.
Cute. I have 2 copies of that one. I'll go grab them. They're right here. Heck, I'll just grab this entire stack. I'll grab this stack of digipacks and other assorted things.
LeBrain, either your mother is unhappy with you or she's accidentally.
I know she put an angry icon. I'm like I'm sitting there like, who the hell put an angry icon? It's my mom. Like, what the hell? Anyway,
is it past your bedtime, perchance?
Perhaps. This one here is damaged, but
oh.
I believe Aaron sent this. Most of this stuff comes from Aaron. I think Aaron sent me this when it came into his store at one point. So obviously, even though it's damaged, I'm keeping that. And then this would be the one that's similar to yours, Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got more digipacks here, including this Deluxe Montrose, featuring one Samuel Hagar on lead vocals. This is the classic debut that everybody worships, including Van Halen themselves. What is this?
Does that have Space Station number 5?
I believe it does.
Yeah, that's the one Maiden covered.
Yeah, they did. They sure did. Sad, but here's one I bought in Toronto, and I still haven't listened to it. Matthew Good, Gord Pinsent, and Greg Keeler. I haven't played it. I buy too much stuff. Greetings from The Sword. This is a great album. I believe this is their live album, if I'm not mistaken. Low Country by The Sword, which was like acoustic recordings of songs from the High Country album. The Glorious Sons.
Oh, they're good.
They are good. Shapeless Art, their first album, with White Noise on it, which is a killer track. Well, this is a neat one. This one came with a magazine, but this has an exclusive track on it, and I'm not sure which one it is. Here it is, classic rock exclusive, recorded on the Now What tour, Black Knight, live in Milan. A lot of the Milan tracks became, live recordings for deluxe editions and singles and whatnot. Sorry, I'm losing track where I was. Doesn't matter. This is all just here's an interesting one, I suppose. These were given away free with cases of beer in Canada in 1994 when the Cult came out with their self-titled album, which nobody bought. It absolutely tanked. Nobody expected it to tank, but it did. Seriously. Believe this is the song Drug Tongue. No, sorry, it's Be Free. Be Free, which was about as close to a single kind of song that the Cult had on that album. It was, a lot of people disagree with me on this. I should say that I believe Deke likes the album, but I found it quite impenetrable, very dark, and not very appealing. The self-titled Cult album from '94. But anyway, there's another stack of rock. John, you said you wanted to go one more time?
Yeah, I have two more to show. Japanese releases.
Okay.
First one, Bon Jovi, Tokyo Road.
I have that.
And then
Does yours have the bonus 3-inch
mine
CD?
have this.
There it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. 3-inch
There's some good
CD.
stuff on there because there's one John Bon Jovi solo track and one Richie Sambora solo track played live. I believe Blood Money is one of them. And I think Stranger in This Town might be the other one.
Father Time
Oh, okay, I'm wrong.
and Not Fade Away.
Really?
Well, let's see. Not Fade Away live version from John Bon Jovi solo tour.
I'm checking my track listing right now because this is not ringing a bell at all.
Well,
Tokyo
if
Road
there's a
live.
different version, I'm going to have to go out and find that one now.
Oh no, you're right. I guess it's been a long time since I've listened to this, but you're right. Tokyo Road, Not Fade Away from Bon Jovi solo tour, Next 100 Years, and Father Time from the Richie Sambora solo tour. I guess it's just been a long time since I've played it. That's my excuse.
And it's got a good collection of songs overall. I just wanted it for the 3-inch CD so I can have those tracks.
Plus, it's a 3-inch CD.
Yeah, that's my first. That's the only one I have that's a 3-inch.
And that's a real 3-inch, not like those Oasis ones I was showing off.
Right. All right, the last item I have, I think I've shown it before, but it's Japanese edition
This is the one I want to steal from you.
of the Bon Jovi 100
Just
million
one.
fans can't be wrong.
Yeah, I
Um,
want this one really badly.
It was not a new purchase. It was used. It's in mint, pristine condition. Comes with this nice little book. It came with a Japanese book. Everything's in Japanese. Got another little obi kind of.
Oh yeah, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, that reminds me. I do have a 5th Japanese import. My Best
problem.
of the Beast 2 CD is actually Japanese import. It came with a Japanese set of liner notes.
Oh, neat.
I just usually forget about that because the CD itself is same as the English version.
Gotcha.
It's got the stickers. Comes with some postcards. But the most important piece, it comes with an extra disc
Right.
of unreleased. I think it's all unreleased material.
I thought it was all B-sides.
Again, I need my glasses. They're demos, live versions, and things like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so they probably all the B-sides. But yeah, I mean, it's 5 CDs plus, or is it 5 in the DVD? Yeah, it's 5 CDs and then the extra bonus disc. So
Actually, it's 4 CDs plus a DVD plus the bonus disc.
yep, last one's a DVD. Sorry.
That's okay.
I haven't looked at it in a while.
Yeah, I'm having that same issue.
But it's like I still can't believe what kind of shape it was in and the
Yeah.
price I got it for. It was
That's a
just-
holy grail item for me. I'd have to review the track list and see if I have collected those B-sides or not. But that was always a holy grail item for me. I saw it in Toronto years ago, and you know, as things go, you don't have the money to buy everything you want. You have to pick and
Oh,
choose.
that is so true. And it's like with the Cybernauts and with this one, it was just a deal. I mean, why they were selling it for the prices they were selling it, I have no idea. But
Another holy grail for me is, I guess this would have been late 90s. They did Japanese reissues of all the Bon Jovi studio albums with bonus discs. And they had them all in Toronto, and they're all like $45, $50 a pop.
Yeah.
Or more, because they were doubles. So, you know, I didn't end up acquiring any of them. And to this day, I couldn't necessarily tell you what tracks are on those Japanese doubles, or if they've been included on other reissues and whatnot. But it's one of the things that kind of made me not a Bon Jovi completist, because I'm already underground, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm afraid to tackle Iron Maiden.
Yeah, but Iron
Yes.
Maiden,
It's a daunting task with as much as they have out
Yeah, and every time they reissue it, they take tracks off.
there.
the ideal time to jump into Iron Maiden, unfortunately, would have been 1995. When they did the 2 CD reissues of all their studio albums, which covered virtually 98% of their B-sides, with very few exceptions, Made in Japan being one of the tracks. You know, I think it's Wrathchild. Is that the one? No, it's
Yeah,
not
that's
Wrathchild.
the Wrathchild's the hard one to get.
Okay. There was that, and there was
Oh, I
one
can tell
track
for sure, because I've got the Purgatory and Made in Japan one. Which one is
There
it
you
on
go.
here? Yep, Wrathchild's the hard one to get.
Okay, so you'd be missing
On
that.
CD, that is.
Right. You'd be missing that, and I think possibly Still Life from the Seventh Son era singles. I know that there was one track missing from the Seventh Son era singles from those sets, but it
Yeah.
completed my Maiden collection without having to go out and buy all the individual singles. There's only a few things that aren't on there. The two that we just mentioned. There's the Triumph mix of From Here to Eternity, which sounds exactly like the album version. Uh-oh, bad news from the Jeopardy front. That makes my two heroes knocked out. Madame Modio was knocked out last night, and now Mateo Roach is getting
Yeah.
knocked out tonight.
Modio didn't have it last night.
No, he did not have the mojo, and he didn't have it the previous night either when they did the, the non.
Yeah, that one was. I
exhibition
actually
match.
turned that. I was like, if it's not for real, I don't want to watch it right now.
Anyway, that's my opinion on Maiden. The ideal time to jump in would have been 1995. Now to jump in, you'd have to track down the Eddie Archive box set.
Yeah.
You'd have to track down all the B-sides, and there's more than just that. I'm still missing the Best of the Beast on vinyl, which has that live version of Revelations.
Yeah, it's not going to
From
happen.
Dortmund 83 is
Yeah.
where it was recorded.
Yeah.
Maybe if they come out with a complete box set.
It never happened because there's no definition of complete, you know? Like, there's no way a complete box set would have that Dortmund version of...
Yeah. I mean, Massacre isn't on Best of the B-sides either. The Thin Lizzy
Thin Lizzy?
cover.
I don't
Yeah.
know, because I never listened to Best of the B-sides. I always listened to my...
I know for a
deluxe
fact
editions.
Massacre's not on there. But yeah, with Maiden, you're going to have to hope, basically, that they ever do deluxe editions like the Sabbath ones from 2010 and that. Because,
Well,
otherwise...
You know, when I say never going to happen, I'm only saying that based on the experience of them not having done it to date. But when a band ends, like seriously comes to an end, that's when the ball game changes, I think. And that's when we might see Maiden do that. But I think Maiden are also conscious of not upsetting the collectors that have gone out of their way to buy a whole bunch of stuff over the years too. So I don't know. I can't call that. I can't make a call on it.
Yeah, just the fact that they reissued this, it was, eyebrow raising, like, oh, hang on, this is something. Because they just recently reissued it in a package with Number of the Beast,
That's the one that Duke
Sans,
bought.
Gangland, the Buggers.
Yeah.
But they did it vinyl only, so you can only get the only way to get this on CD is Eddie's Archive.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a deliberate thing to not put it on CD to mess with this, or whether they're just following the trend of vinyl and screwing CDs, but
Following the trend of vinyl. and
yeah,
screwing
for a band that don't follow trends, their reissues and their releases are quite trends chasing. You know, like because the Book of Souls live chapter, they didn't even give a DVD release from back in
Yeah, they
2017.
don't always though.
That's the only live album they've had with a video component that hasn't had a video release, a physical video release. Every other one's got a physical, even if it's a VHS, like Raising Hell.
I
It's
thought
just-
Death
yeah.
on the Road, but I might.
Death
be
on the
wrong
Road
on
has a DVD,
Oh,
but
it does, eh?
it was like a limited edition sort of thing, out of print now. Rock in Rio's out of print too. But that was a standard DVD. It's just, yeah, sorry to hijack, but they just really tend to follow trends with their album release, with their editions and what they release. It's weird.
Fortunately, I can play all the formats. Anyway, it is now 8:00. Do you guys have any final stuff you want to show before we call it a night?
I'm all done.
You're all done?
No, I mean, everything if we ever do a Kiss one again, I have some.
Guaranteed we're going to do a Kiss one. I'm going to get in touch
Uh-oh.
with Marco soon because I want Marco to participate in anything we do Kiss.
I might have to sit on the bench for that one.
And that's fine. I might get Meat. We got to get Meat involved. I know Harrison and I kind of have a side project going where we're setting aside. Oh, Knights of the Dead does not have a DVD release either, apparently.
Yeah, but they didn't film anything for it, is the difference.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You can't even buy a digital version of Knights of the Dead video.
Anyway, Harrison and I kind of have a side project going where we're kind of setting aside albums. We're making a Meat stack. And then when we have enough stuff to discuss, we're going to bring Meat on to discuss the releases that we've set aside. Because, of course, he owns no physical product.
Yeah.
I guess if there's one last thing I want to show off, it is this baby here. Because I just like the album artwork. Marillion's new album, An Hour Before It's Dark. This is
There goes the viewers.
There go the viewers. Yes, this is comes with a DVD that I've not watched because let's face it, I don't sit around watching DVDs anymore. I listen to the music, but I just don't have the time to watch DVDs anymore. And it could be the most brilliant DVD in the world, and I probably won't find out for many, many, many years.
I just reviewed one last weekend, a DVD. So
I wonder if Scott Peddle, I'm back taking a Fiverr. I wonder if by Fiverr this is what he's referring to. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, Scott. Just as we're about to end the show.
I
Now,
hope he's not watching the show while he's doing that.
yeah,
oh,
that's
jeez.
yeah,
Oh
that's-
God, no. All right. So normally, because John is here, I would say let's play Too Loud, Too Old, Buried on Mars. But we played that 2 weeks ago.
First show, yeah.
And I have been petitioning to play one particular song for a few weeks now. And yeah. I've been petitioning to hear a song for a few weeks now. Would you guys be in agreement with me if we played ODP?
I was going to suggest that.
Good. Because we've been back. This is now the third show since we've come back, and we have not played ODP yet.
yeah, that's my favorite one.
We have to give the people what they want.
We have to give the look at this. I don't know why he's being so hard on you. Yeah, we got to play ODP. So
What do you mean? You're the one that suggested it in the first place.
I've been, like I said, I've been trying to play it for 3 weeks, but
Then I was talking about what Scott Peddle was saying. He was being hard on.
oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
you know,
A poor choice of words there, by the way.
Scott Peddle is he's a naughty boy, and he should be getting a talking to from his wife this evening. Anyway, thank you, boys, for joining me. We will have obviously John back at some point. We're going to talk some Kiss with Marco from the Contrarians, and Harrison we'll have back whenever. We got to get
Whenever
Chris
we're not doing Kiss.
we got to get Chris Preston on to talk about Def Leppard because he's got an insane Def Leppard collection. So hopefully John can join me for that. Chris Preston,
Oh wow.
you know him. He is Rock These Tweets on Twitter.
Okay. I
He's
love
got the
Def
most
Leppard
insane
song.
Def Leppard collection that you've ever seen. He's got like 80 items of just Adrenalize. So we got to get him on. We got to get Thor from Denmark on. We got to get the Meat Man on. We got to get Rob Daniels on. So we're just getting started here, really. And whether we have a show next week, we'll decide that next week. But for this week, thank you everybody for watching. Have a great night. This is ODP by T-Bone Erickson. Thank you, John. Thank you, Harrison. Have a great night, everybody.
See you, Harrison. See you, Mike.
Yeah.
Ciao. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Woke up this morning on the right side of the bed. Nothing but happy feelings in my head. I turned on the radio to hear just what was new. But the DJ is playing Motley Crue. I threw the damn thing down the stairs, seemed like the thing to do. Then I ripped the bloody door right off the loo. Because when your day starts just like this, and opened up is when I hear Nikki says, and opened up is don't care if you're not impressed, and opened up is did I mention I was a house guest, and opened up is heading out this evening to meet up with my boys. For a couple beers we'll make a little noise. Checked out the telly to find out what's the score. But the Patriots, they ain't no good no more. I threw that telly on the floor, then caught shit from the man. So I made a beeline straight for the can. Because when your evening starts like this, and opened up is when Tom Brady leaves the Patriots, and opened up is hey, I almost never miss, and opened up is everybody take a look at this, and opened up is don't care about your rules, don't live my life to please you fools. If you don't like it, turn the other way. That's what I say. Like Desmond Child writing songs with Kiss, and opened up is like 90s ballads from Aerosmith, and opened up is when the Jays can't get no hits, and opened up is when your socks they smell like this, and opened up is when you just don't give a shit, and opened up